I gained 13.8 pounds in 11 days, and I'm here to tell you what happened. All right, so I've got some notes here. I have been on Zepbound for 61 weeks. I spent the first 4 weeks on 2.5 milligrams, which is considered a starter dose. In that time frame, I lost 18 pounds. Now, I don't recommend. I know it sounds great, and I was excited, but when I had a DEXA scan done and figured out that it was mainly muscle, a lot of muscle, that is when I kind of shifted my mindset about getting excited about the number on the scale. So, switched to 5 milligrams in 4 weeks, 5 through 56, stayed on it just fine. I only skipped one dose because I had a colonoscopy. The entire time that I had been on, I had no food noise, no side effects, nothing. It took me 26 weeks to get to my initial goal, which was 135 pounds. And I've been in maintenance now for 35 weeks. So now that we've covered all of that, I want to give you a breakdown. Now, I'm going to put up a graphic. It's going to go over here, and it's going to show the year, or not the year, the entire time that I've been on this journey. You can see the graph. You'll see this year. I'll show you that graphic. And now the graphic for this month. So you can see, right? Nearly 14 pounds. Now, I haven't done anything different. The only thing that changed was my dose. So I had been doing well on the 5, no issues, moved down to the 2.5. Then I had an extremely stressful situation with my bunny. I talk about that in a previous video. And when that happened, I don't know if it was the stress or if it was the dose change and the stress, but whatever was going on, my body was showing that on the scale. From the 6th to the 14th, that's 8 days, I gained 10 pounds. Okay. And then on Thursday, I had gotten up to 141.8. So let me just go through the weights with you. So that last weigh-in on April 6th, so you can see my little calendar here, right? I was 128 pounds. That following week on the 13th, I was 134 pounds. When I did my live stream last week on Monday, I had gained 4 pounds from Sunday to Monday, right? So 138. Tuesday, 139.6. Wednesday, 140.2. Thursday, 141.8. Friday, 139.6. Saturday, 136.2. And today I weighed in at 134.4. So I am definitely trending in the right direction. So let me tell you what I changed. Other than my dose, absolutely nothing. I still continued with the same workouts. I still continued to eat a whole food plant-based diet, shooting for 1,800 calories a day. I still continue to drink a gallon of water a day, take my creatine. These are some additional things that I'm on. Let me show you. I am on hormone replacement therapy. So I have estradiol, and that recently moved up to point 0.1. So that happened on Saturday. Last Saturday is when my testosterone came in. And these come in a tube. And this one little tube uh, is 10 doses. So this will last 10 days. So this whole box will last, if this was for a man, this will last 30 days. But for me, it'll last 300 days. So those are the only things that are different. I take a vitamin D supplement weekly. I've been deficient. This is something it's been a lifelong thing. So this is not anything to do with the medication. And as far as supplements, I take creatine, and that started in December. So this is where we are, right? If I had freaked out and started doing all these different things and making a bunch of changes, I wouldn't have known that just holding the course, which is what I say a lot, just hold steady. If you know you're doing the right things, continue to do them. Do not let the scale dictate, and I'm pointing because I have the scale down here. Do not let the scale dictate your progress, right? How many, let me ask you a question and put this in the comments, please. If you notice that you gained in 11 days 13.8 pounds, would you have freaked out or would you have continued to do what you were doing? Put that in the comments. Now, I'm not going to pretend like I wasn't concerned. I absolutely was. But I didn't know I didn't know exactly what was causing it or what to do. So in my mind, I was going to give it to getting up to 20 pounds. And if I had made it up to 20, then I would have had to, reach out for some professional help because that's not fat or muscle that you're gaining in that time frame, right? I just held the course. And that is not something that I would have done in the past. That is not something that I've had a history of doing. It was very easy for me to give up. But I feel like I have worked so hard since February of last year that it didn't make sense to just throw everything away. And to get up here every week and I'm saying the same things every week, I tell you, if you're tracking and something's not going right, then you know where you can make tweaks and modifications. Now, I had considered, wait, do I need to go down on my calories? But then I was thinking, but I've been on these calories. Like, there's no reason that I would need to go down. I wasn't trying to get even more strenuous with my workouts, right? I've been strength training 5 days a week. I'm on my walking pad for 30 minutes every single day. So I am doing proper things, nothing that you would think would cause the scale to go up, but it did. So whether it was a combination of stress, the dose decrease, who knows? I need to mention that 2 of those days, and this was like the same week that I was dealing with everything with my bunny. 2 of those days, I had some food noise. Now I didn't act on it, but I was aware of it, and I was just like, "Oh my god." So that is what I was most afraid of, was that coming back. But what I proved to myself is even when that came back, that didn't mean I had to act on it. Now, to be able to look at that and be rational with it is a huge improvement because I felt powerless before, like I had no control, you know? And I've said this, I enjoyed eating. And you know, the fact that I could be aware. So some of you, I hear you say that your food noise came back. Just because your food noise comes back, and if it's like right before the next shot, push through. Push through, okay? First, let's make sure you're eating enough because if you're not eating enough for so long, that's going to cause issues. We've got to get out of you know, this restrictive mindset. Everybody doesn't need to be eating 1,200 calories. But anyway, you talk to your dietitian, your doctor, whatever you guys come up with, that's what you need to do. If you haven't talked to them, let's not get the information from the internet, right? I know what's right for my body, but I don't know what's right for you. And you can do those online calculators, but it just takes putting something wrong. Like, sometimes we think we're doing more than we really are, and it's accounting for all these calories that we should be burning that we're not burning. So, anyway, just talk to a professional and figure out if you're eating the right calories for you. Now, I eat a whole food plant based diet and I'm a vegan. I get everything that I need on that. I am not shooting for 200, 300 grams of protein a day. I don't need that. And if that's your goal, then that's cool. But that's just not something that I need. And I'm pretty simple. I keep everything simple. And that is why simply is in my name. All right. I The strength training program I'm doing right now is by Kira Mitlow, and it's called the 15-minute standing strength series. And I like it. It's just 15 minutes. It's just 15 minutes. So if you're someone who's pressed for time and you're, wanting to dip your foot into doing some strength training, check it out. If you don't like it, there's a plethora of content creators making fitness content online, and I'm sure you'll find something you like. If you're someone that needs that discipline of being in the gym, or not discipline, but the accountability, then do that. But in the meantime, don't let that be what is keeping you from doing anything at all. Because something as simple as walking is just fine. Stretching, body weight exercises, yoga, calisthenics. There are a lot of different things that you can do from the comfort of your own home so that you don't have to worry about forcing yourself to get up and do something else, especially if you already don't want to do it, right? There are a lot of times where I don't feel like working out, but I do it. And I actually enjoy my workouts. So that's why it's surprising to me, that sometimes I just don't feel like it, but I do it anyway. And I think that I'm successful with this because I don't have to leave my house, right? I could just, because I record all of my workouts, I got to just throw something on and record the workout and then go back to what I was doing. So make it simple for yourself. As far as the food, eat things that you like, right? Just, use moderation. You don't have to go through being extremely restrictive and cutting out different food groups. Now, we do know that there are certain things that are better for you than others. And you want to not eat as many highly processed, ultra processed junk food. Okay. If you're eating fast food every day, you know what? I don't have a comment about that. Just make sure you're eating enough. Make sure you're getting nutritious food in. Make sure you're drinking enough. I drink about a gallon of water. I said about. I don't know why I say about. I drink a gallon of water a day. That works for me. I drink an ounce of orange juice with the creatine. Recently, I made oat milk for the first time. So I did have a glass of that one day and I actually enjoyed it. So I'm not against drinking anything else. I just hadn't had the desire to. Prior to being on Zepbound, I lived on sugary lattes, energy drinks, and sweet tea. That's what I drank the majority of, and very little water. So this is definitely a change, and I think it's good for your skin and that kind of stuff. Now, I said I haven't had any side effects. I haven't had any GI issues, any nausea, none of the tiredness that people that I see tend to see a lot. I haven't had any issues with my hair coming out or even thinning at the roots, nothing like that. So it is getting pretty gray, but that's not related. What else? On Instagram. So I have an Instagram, and recently I created a Facebook page, and that's just for simply Taisha. So I post all of my meals. All of them are there. Everything I eat is there, and usually in the story is when I'll tell you, like, what's in it. I'm not doing, like, the ratios or anything like that. If it's a salad, I'm gonna tell you it's a salad and what's in it, and all of my workouts is just reels, but they're sped up. So, you can check those out, and that'll be on Instagram and now also on Facebook. I've moved away from putting it in the community tab. In the community tab, I'm putting affirmations. I'm going to start sharing more recipe videos from other creators that I enjoy. And yeah, polls, things like that. I have a series that I've been doing, and it started at the beginning of March, and it's called The Daily Dose of Mindset. So that's every morning. So on the weekdays, I post that at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I get up, I record it, I post it. And then on the weekends, it's at 11 o'clock. So the affirmation, whatever the affirmation is for that morning, that's going to be the topic of the video, in case you hadn't realized that. And so I really enjoy that. It's the community seems to be responding well to it too. So I think it's a win-win for all of us, right? What else? Live streams. The When I initially started, I was doing them at 7 o'clock. Then there were maybe a month or so I did it at 6 o'clock, and now we're back to 7, and that's where we're going to stay. I usually shoot for an hour, but we can go longer. I just I always wanna make sure that I'm not just on rambling, right? If there's engagement, we've gone as long as, a little over 2 hours before, but my target is usually an hour, right? I want you to know that I value your time, and I also value my time. So, when we're getting together, I want it to be, beneficial for all of us. So just know that you can come to the live streams every Monday, and if you have any questions, you know, that's a good time where we can interact in real time. I always answer the comments. Occasionally, there have been times where I've missed it somehow, but I do try to make sure that I answer all of the comments, even the ones that are not so nice. So, yes, that's it. If you take nothing else from this video, just know, trust the process. As long as you are tracking things and you're doing what you need to do, you're going to have progress. This is a lifestyle change. It's not overnight. It's going to take time. So that is it. If you're someone who celebrates Easter, happy Easter. If not, happy Sunday, happy 420. And I'm going to leave you with this. We can share our journeys, but we should never compare them. Bye.